So many people around me are waiting for America to reopen. The bottom line is, we were never closed. You know, people started preaching all this scary stuff. And, and the initial scare about the virus had everybody looking to be more responsible about their lives and their habits. And some of them just plain neglected it, it is a responsibility to take care and be considerate of your fellow man, woman, child, family, animal, earth. It's a realistic thing if there was a virus, and I believe there was to a degree, but not like they said, And then people started looking at each other and governing each other, and through gossip, condemnation, criticism and stuff, and then the closing of the stores and all the other services, it really kind of screwed us, and at the same time there was talk about towers and stuff like that, electromagnetic waves, chemtrails, chips, vaccines, But the environment did get a big relief from all this, people using that desensitized mind to accept the word lockdown. I guess it's all those jail programs and zombie programs that they watch, but they don't really have a clue. Older people do. Some young people do, because they've been put out in the street early, but for the most part, it's not true. They don't really know what they're dealing with. And it's a great measure that was taken, and there's a lot of circumstances and things that we don't really consider, the debt of oil, the oil consumption that we're using in this country, and giving other countries money for it. And, as we keep polluting and doing things, even though big mega yachts have no emissions whatsoever, and one of those yachts may have a motor that's, 20,000 cubic inches, which is 50 cars, without catalytic converters or mufflers operating, 24/7 at high RPM or something, so many other things are going on, incapacitation of other places through the oil industry and the shipping industry, I think Trump was a gamble as a president for the people that voted for him, and people that voted in general. I don't know how you could trust the voting. It's been wrong since day one. There's always some kind of controversy, a miscount, something busted, something malfunctioned, a person that's corrupt, handling it. It's crazy. And at the same time, it's the election coming up, and the candidates, they're getting unveiled for what they really are and how they really are, not much different than us. Not more responsible and less integrity in ways. And at the same time, the world's superpowers, which, have become China and USA and Russia, first one has to go. And then two could exist and see if they could work it out. So I guess it was who gets the blame, who gets taken out, And then, where do UFOs come in and all this, and all this stuff, technically, the businesses closing and the people struggling, waiting for the stimulus checks, all the roads and borders being questionable. It's all hearsay, but technically, all that debt that people are acquiring with stimulus checks and not paying their bills, it's going to allow authoritative figures that are consented to just take property and put people out in the street and then say, you're homeless, so you have to come with us. You have to get a vaccine, chip, But all that can be avoided, You got to really know how to take the power back. Because all these people operate on paperwork, and they're expecting you to get violent and desperate. think, if you know about paperwork, you know the difference between a statute and a law. You know the difference between, as an example, the Florida Constitution in contrast to the United States Constitution, which is the law of the land. And all these things have been overlooked. So, like a business that's closed, they don't have to be closed. And people are saying they're getting arrested for opening. Well, when you have a commercial business, you sign a bunch of papers agreeing to statutes and laws and boundaries. And if you never do any paperwork to separate yourself, you're always going to be under the bracket of making an income instead of earning. And that puts you in a bad spot. So, people don't know how to do anything better because it comes from a day where it was different. And, in the future, we're going to have to really be more responsible. I mean, we need everybody, like on social media, promoting and stuff, but I mean, half of it's garbage. It's just people like pent up with their emotions. There's too much relaxation going on, I mean, something's worth fighting for. America was always considered the land of the free, home of the brave, the land of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. And for those anti-American people, you ain't got nothing else. My personal situation, being attacked by police and run through the system, shoved down the rabbit hole and have to climb out myself. I leaned on our forefathers' foundational work with the Constitution, and I got free. I'm proud of that. I never got to go in the service, which is a good thing, because to be government issued is, as soon as you sign that paper, they're going to stick a needle in you or court-martial you. You have to do what they say. Some people need that, but it just wasn't in my cards, even though I tried. So I felt like it was a responsibility, fighting for my own rights. And, technically, I wouldn't be able to share this information like many others want to with you if I wasn't in America. So you got to consider that, this is a great country, and it's a great place, and the Statue of Liberty, and the eagle. I think it sucks that the red, white, and blue resembles England, and that they're trying to muscle their way in here as a Rome under cloak. But it is what it is for now. But I'm finding unity, and I think that, the people in the government really screwed up because they got too big for their britches, and now they can't handle it, and we have an opportunity, we have an opportunity right now. So, I'm glad all the hunters and people out there, that are into the NRA are standing by our sides and with us. I'm glad all the farmers and stuff, are there. I'm glad that all the great people are hanging out and getting their free time in, but half of you probably won't make it because you're not prepared. And then the things that you find important and that take precedent over your life maybe don't apply to our reality other than past times during a matrix-style dictated day that everybody just follows. But we can make it. I have faith. Personally, I just sit and watch because I've done my part. So all this is like extra, and it's a gift to you from me. I really feel that way too, to be honest with you. There's people older than me that served and did things, and they have millions of dollars in property, and they employ hundreds of people, but at the end of the day, are they preaching to their employees and people? Are they using their money and belongings and property to help others? Like, okay, if you want like 50,000 people that are around the street helping and on the same program, and you have like, say, 50 acres with a 10-foot wall and, gold-plated garbage cans like in the Hamptons, as your front, lions on your gate, you're going to have to start doing something about it, because you can't run from reality either. And, God bless America. And I think the rest of the world, I think, you're here now because your family's here and everything. And you realizing we're all the same, just like a lot of people, black, white, different races and colors and religions and genders, and everybody's kind of getting unity whether they like it or not. And this actually can scare the ones that are trying to corrupt us to the point where they want to enslave us. But, do some educating on what the Constitution is, because it's real important. And it still stands. And America was never closed. It's just people are acting like that, and they're following rules because they don't know any better. And, they're emotionally charged. They're eating bad. They're living right up to the minute with desperation. So they're not handling it correctly. But America has never been closed. Nobody has the right to close it because we own it. We're the blood, sweat, and tears, son, daughter, mother, father, child, elder. And come on out. We want to see you out there. We want to see you having a voice. We want to see you assembling and talking amongst each other outside of social media and in times of libation. Save that for later. But let's do what we need to do here. If there's to be a revolution, it started already. And I think we're handling it pretty good. They may threaten us, they may have plans for us, but we're not small, we're not weak, we're not unarmed, we're not uneducated, we're not ununified. And if there's to be another Holocaust, then the rest of the world will pay, or they'll come to the rescue of it in whichever country it is. So I think that we got a good chance here to make things right and change our lives for the better. We can't just go back to the way things were. It was too much of a mess. And, so many people have allowed it to happen. So it's time to wake up. And I appreciate everybody. I love everybody. I love you all. I love myself. I love this life. I love this country. I love the trees and the sky and the birds and the oceans and the fishes, even alligators and snakes. I love them all. There's a reason for everybody that's in our lives too, whether they're on a computer screen, a newscast through a television, or in your face or at your work. Start loving the people around you, because we all want the same thing in the end. We all just wanted to be treated with respect and given the opportunity, that we could achieve things. And America is a great place to start if you're here. And if you're not here, realize that people like me don't see borders. We see possibilities and we see dreams. And we see the goodness in people. We want to bring that out more. Because the power of light is definitely strong. Stronger than ever right now. And now it's up to you to reflect that. And I hope you do. And I hope you do it well. And I appreciate it and love you all again. Over and over in abundance. With enough to share. So with that, let's seize our time. Let's seize our moments and seize our day. And everything's going to be great. So many people around me are waiting for America to reopen. The bottom line is, we were never closed.